Hello, folks. Welcome back to 2008. Is this the last time I'll say welcome back to 2008?
I think it very well could be, yeah.
Jeez, that's crazy. That's so crazy. All right. It's Survivor Series 2008. We got a big one tonight. Big one. One of the big
Last of our
one might say.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, and which now has genuine meaning because they're the only shows that are provided on pay-per-view.
That they are. I guess we just jump into this, right?
I think so. The storyline we've been keeping people up to date on, we're finally showcasing on the show. So we don't necessarily have to do too much catch up on that regard. There's some other stuff I think I want to catch people up on, but I think we could do that during the show if I remember. So I'm happy to jump right into it.
Let's do it then. We are in Wells Fargo Center here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, home of Michael Nutter.
Yeah, should we mention the relationship we've had over the last month or so with the mayor of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, we've been engaged in a long-term homoerotic relationship with Michael Nutter. That's all there is to say. Right?
We love him.
Yeah, Michael Nutter's based.
He is.
we should probably have looked up some of his policy or something he did at least, so we know what the fuck we're standing behind. But regardless,
we had a little bit of a look. He seemed okay.
Yeah, he seemed like he
seemed milk toast. You know,
establishment Democrat. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, that is what I was thinking.
Yeah, well,
that is what I was thinking. Yeah,
okay,
So
fair enough. I thought I'd just say
it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy who would be friends with Governor Rob, who we all like.
I don't know if he would be. Well,
yeah, I don't know if he would be either.
Actually, I'll be honest. I think it's only lately that he's shown his hand a little bit more. But I think RVD lands a little bit more on like the libertarian side of everybody.
Oh yeah,
weed like instead of the
IRL. Yeah.
Yeah,
but RVD was a Democrat governor, so
which I think it's technically perfect for the story we were kind of telling, because he's a guy who's not really a Democrat, but he's around the party because they're the ones who are going to legalize it way before the Republicans would ever bother trying to do that. So it makes sense, I think, for him to be in the party and then for them to kick him out when they're like, wait, you're a fucking psycho, aren't you? And he's like, I take headshots and I smoke weed.
This is already gonna be a long show, Tucker. Should we get started?
I think we should.
Cool.
While we are setting up the Elimination Chamber, two men come down.
Yep.
So the totally radical dudes were promised an opportunity to set up the Elimination Chamber. Or sorry, to
make the
Elimination Chamber. That's what it was. Yeah, that's great. And so here they are. They're out here. They're ready to go fight in the Elimination Chamber. And they're told that no, they are making the Elimination Chamber. And as they start to set it up, the two men who for weeks now have been breaking down the Elimination Chamber have come to break down the Elimination Chamber. They fight the totally radical dudes, as they've been renamed. I think that's the first time you've ever seen them as the totally radical dudes. They win, and the chamber will be erected tonight, and we will get an Elimination Chamber match. Hooray.
Worth mentioning, this is a dark match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A key part of the show, regardless. If they had lost, there would be no chamber. It would just be a normal elimination match. It'd be terrible. We have to bring out Shark.
Tucker has never had such unrelenting joy as when he got to book this.
The smile on my face is ridiculous. I'm so pleased with this. This is everything I'd ever fucking do.
I love it.
All right. Yeah, the world is watching. We're here. It's Survivor Series. We got all our comms teams out here.
And we'll go through it a little bit more later, but I think it's worth mentioning at this point what our main event is, Tucker.
It is, well, there's technically two main events. The main event for Raw is
There's only that's only we can talk about the other main event later, but I'm talking about the main event.
Okay. Yeah, so right after this, we're going to get the traditional Survivor Series match. I know that's what you're all
The
here
main
for.
event, Tucker.
That's what I'm explaining. I'm explaining the highest staked match on the card. You play along with that? That's fair.
I mean, I played along to a point.
Our main event is an Elimination Chamber match. It's Bobby Lashley defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Triple H, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Chavo Guerrero, and Vladimir Kozlov. In a chamber.
Hell yeah.
And to kick us off, oh hell, what the fuck happened here? Anyways. I don't know why this
People
did
are
so
white
well.
hot for
Yeah,
this
they're like,
match.
It's like,
Terry Funk, let's fucking go!
So yeah, we've got Team Kennedy versus Team Raw. Puddy, how the hell did we get here? Why is Jerry Lawler here? Why is Terry Funk here? What is happening?
This has been one of the dominating storylines on Raw over the last sort of 3 months-ish since SummerSlam. Mr. Kennedy is an asshole. We all know this. We've known this for years. But he was taking it a little bit too far. He was abusing, kind of, the interview staff. He was roughing them up, taking microphones from them, stealing the spot. Yeah, I mean, he was really going a little too far with his aggressive stance towards the interview staff, and he was making them feel threatened. He was undermining them. He's just a dickhead, right? So Amy Weber, who is the interview overlord, very powerful, respected journalist, also sort of in charge of looking after the rest of the interview staff, decided, you know what, Kennedy, if you can't stop being an asshole, you're going to get your interview privileges taken away from you. And if you know anything about Mr. Kennedy, he can't stop being an asshole. So he got his interview privileges taken away from him. He got his airtime cut, his promo time cut. And he didn't take that very well. And, well, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because we've been keeping you up to date with this. But suffice to say, it has escalated to him feuding with the likes of Steve Austin and Jerry Lawler. And it has culminated in tonight's match, a traditional Survivor Series elimination match with Mr. Kennedy, the captain of one team, and Jerry the King Lawler as the captain of the other. If Kennedy's team wins, Mr. Kennedy becomes the interview overlord of Monday Night Raw. If Lawler's team wins, Kennedy is contractually obliged to remain silent on Monday Night Raw for the next 90 days. A lot on the line. Jerry Lawler put together his team, but he had one slot missing, one special surprise. Matt Hardy doubted there was anyone, but it was Terry Funk, who... Actually, why don't I hand it over to Tucker for Jerry Lawler to explain exactly why Terry Funk is joining the team.
Yeah, we don't know who this final participant is of the match, and Jerry Lawler comes out and he says, you know, I may not have always seen eye to eye with this man, but when push comes to shove, I know that his heart's in the right place, and he absolutely will not stand for the abuse of regular employees here in this company. Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling's greatest legend. It's fucking Terry Funk.
Should we get right into it?
We should. I had an idea I wanted to write down, really quickly, and I didn't want to pop open Discord while you were doing your promo because I didn't want it to pop up here and then freak everybody out. So just let me see where this opens. Yeah, I thought that might happen.
No, our DMs.
No! I said kick it. Let's progress to the match here. Oh, damn, that does pretty damn well. And I'm just going to write this really
Considering
quick.
Terry Funk and Jerry the King Lawler in here. Yeah, so we get a traditional Survivor Series tag team match. It starts off slow with various tags and tag team maneuvers kind of working over. The first elimination, though, is The Miz as Terry Funk kind of gets to stretch his legs. Wait a minute, I swear we specified The Miz goes out first.
We did. Did it ignore my shit? It did.
Feels like some of the eliminations are missing there.
They just didn't eliminate like half the guys we specified.
Oh, they didn't eliminate any of the heels.
Clean sweep!
At all.
Let's go! Kennedy rocks the house.
Oh, this isn't a total elimination match? No, wait, this is a traditional
has to
Survivor
be.
Series
It
match.
has to be.
Yeah. Weird.
Right? Yes. Okay, look, you can see our notes. We
There
did
you go.
this. We did this right.
Yeah.
Is this because we didn't put in, like, the 9th elimination, and the game was like, well, I don't know what to do with this info. There's no final elimination, so I don't know how to do
Oh,
this.
yeah. Oh, strange.
Yeah, who knows?
Either way, did you, just to clarify, are you writing something to me in a DM? Do you want me to cover for you, or?
No, I sent it already. It's done.
Oh, is it not in DMs? Okay, I see. Okay, it's in our Discord.
Yeah,
Cool.
Sorry. So yeah, to start off, the babyfaces are gonna take it to the Miz. Probably, I imagine this is probably Terry Funk bumping the Miz a whole bunch, right? That seems like a good role for the Miz.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. So yeah, they get out the Miz, and the babyfaces look like they're gonna take an initial lead. Before Terry Funk is old and gets beat.
So is Jerry Lawler.
He is.
Well, actually,
Jerry Lawler, though, he's going to get some help because after Terry Funk goes out, Jerry looks real distressed. That was his big ace in the hole, kind of, if you will. Aside from his other ace in the hole, he looks at Jeff Hardy down on the bench. Down on the bench, jeez. There is a kerfuffle. We rush the ring, essentially. All 4 men get in there, and then they're all fighting each other, and it's chaos. And in that chaos, Matt Hardy, who thought he was going to be approached for a spot on this team, but was passed up for Terry Funk, comes out just to make sure that things are going to go okay. Just to make sure nothing's going to get out of hand here. And as things kind of start to calm down again, and Terry Funk starts to leave, Matt Hardy is going to say to Jerry Lawler that he made a real good decision there, didn't you, King? Yeah, real smart move picking the 64-year-old over me. Right on. And Jerry Lawler's like, hey, man, listen, I know that man very well. He's a friend of mine. We go way back. I mean, he's not really a friend of mine, but we go way back.
He just eliminated The Miz.
Yeah, see, he's doing stuff, and then Mr. Kennedy rolls up Jerry Lawler, gets the 3, and the leader of Team Raw is gone. Matt Hardy.
Kenny's cracking up.
Matt Hardy looks like he's like, fuck, I did it again. No. What have I done? So baby faces now.
And then after a little while, the baby faces get their comeback rolling. They manage to eliminate Chris Masters, and they even manage to eliminate Mr. Kennedy. That's Jeff Hardy, former WWE champion.
Yep, Mr. Kennedy's out by the hand of Jeff Hardy, which brings us down to a 3-on-2. It's Lundrick, Jeff Hardy, taking on John Morrison and Kenny Dykstra. Kendrick goes out next. Yeah, I don't have any more spots. Kendrick goes out next, leaving us with the 2-on-2. They get Jeff Hardy, leaving just
they isolate him.
Yep, leaving just Paul London. And Paul London puts on a Herculean performance, just constantly evading damage where he can and hitting his big offense. But ultimately, it is a 2-on-1. Kenny Dykstra's going to come off the top rope with that move, the leg drop, I guess, because it doesn't say a move.
The flying something.
The flying big leg.
The Dykstra effect.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually. That is pretty good. Damn.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah.
All right.
That's a talk show in a few years. Write that down.
Okay.
And they do it. Kenny Dykstra and John Morrison have survived meeting Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy.
Meeting the Miz. Meeting the Miz. Yep, that's it. That's the one. Yeah, Mr. Kennedy is the interview overlord. What the hell does that mean? Tune in tomorrow night. The comms go, damn, son. This is Philadelphia. We love Philadelphia. That's what this angle is. Look at.
You sure it
is?
Okay.
This is Look at Nutville. Live Look at Nutville.
Cool.
Steve Austin is pissed that Mr. Kennedy won. His team won.
Yep.
All right, and here we go.
Here we go.
Going into the United States Championship match. Randy Orton defending his title against Ted DiBiase Jr., the former champion. What do we need to know for this? I mean, if Ted DiBiase Jr. loses, Randy Orton has made it clear that he expects Ted DiBiase Jr. to quote unquote fall in line, whatever the hell that means.
Well, Cody Rhodes has been asking Ted DiBiase Jr. for the last month to join him and Orton in their sort of partnership, their team, maybe. I'm not sure. But Cody Rhodes turned on Ted DiBiase to let Randy Orton win the United States Championship. And then he's been saying that, the best place for them is under the tutelage of Randy Orton. And Randy Orton has offered Ted DiBiase to join them as a team. They could rule Raw together as a trio. Randy Orton has talked about how he understands Ted. He himself being a third generation wrestler. And there are a lot of similarities between these three men. And Orton has offered Ted an opportunity to be as part of the team. Ted so far has refused. He just wants to get his United States Championship back. The United States Championship that he held all summer. Mm-hmm.
Ted DiBiase also has kind of taken Cody to task for this, noting that Randy Orton is no leader. Like, this guy is not someone you want to follow.
Yeah,
he's a bad man.
But if Ted loses tonight, he might be forced to follow Randy Orton.
Yeah, we'll have to see what like the legal stuff is there, because that feels a little sketchy, but we'll see.
Don't worry too much about it.
Okay, that's fine. You're right. This is a wrestling show. There are no cops here. There's no law here. We do what we want. So let's do it. U.S. title match.
Yep. We get a back and forth between Ted DiBiase's gritty DMLS style grappling, in which he inflicts maximum pain, and Randy Orton's power spots and brilliantly executed feats of athleticism. Ted DiBiase definitely looks like there are moments where he could take this one, but ends up running into the three most deadly letters in professional wrestling: RKO.
Yeah, I think Ted has opportunities here where he can take control, but he's never fully in control. It's one of those things where it seems like every time Orton makes a mistake or Ted's able to get a kind of crafty counter off with his grappling knowledge, Orton just finds a way to shut the door. Ted's in it, but he's never quite controlling it. RKO, and Orton wins. Now, what does that mean? Tune in tomorrow. Could be a lot of that, I feel like, tonight.
What? But this is supposed to be one of our big shows, Tucker. It's supposed to resolve storylines.
It's Survivor Series.
Oh, no.
It's Survivor Series, brother. Did Survivor Series ever solve any issue ever, actually? That's my question.
Well, the issue of who is the World Heavyweight Champion will be solved tonight inside the Elimination Chamber.
So will a couple other belts. At least one.
At least one other belt.
Just one. I think just one. No, I think two. Two. Thank you. Two. Anyways.
Okay.
Speaking of one of those two, we got a banger coming up, folks. Christian is putting his Cruiserweight Championship on the line against all the top contenders in the division. Psychosis, who lately has gotten quite personal with Christian after Christian gone through a I feel wrong saying this on air, but
he's had time off for personal issues.
Yeah, and Psychosis has made those personal issues very, very public. It's bad man. Don't like him at all.
Very evil man. Yeah.
Guy who I do like, though, Rey Mysterio, who's also in this, and a guy who lately I don't know how I feel about. It's Alan Jones, who's continuously going down this road of I don't even know what to call it. He's a zealot. I'll tell you that. That's the best I could put it.
He's more of a he's taken to offering guidance to the WWE universe and hope and really looking to spread good news. And recently, he's just gotten out of a long feud with the Idol Stevens, who really set about mocking Jones and really kind of ratcheted up the tensions between the pair of them. But Jones actually picked up a win in a street fight a couple weeks ago. And we've got a huge fatal four-way here. Cruiserweight Championship of the World on the line. Christian, Psychosis, Rey Mysterio, Thunderbones, Alan Jones. Who's going to pick up the win? Oh, and it's a record-breaking title reign for Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, Ray's the one who ends up catching Christian with a 619, and he's gonna walk away. Is this 10? Is this 10 times?
I can double check pretty quickly here.
I want to say he
Let me
was
have a
on
look.
9.
That makes sense to me.
Can people hear this cat?
They're gonna be able to hear it better than I can.
Okay, well I'm gonna remove this cat. Hold on.
This is reign number 9. I don't know if Tucker can hear me, but for the audience, and this is his first title reign with the Cruiserweight Championship in over 3 years. Last time he was Cruiserweight Champion was August 2005. He has spent a long time away from that belt or many belts, but he's finally gotten back to the big time. His last reign was ended by Gregory Helms. He hasn't been able to return, but tonight at Survivor Series 2008, Rey Mysterio is rolling back the years. He pins Christian for his 9th Cruiserweight Championship.
I was about to say, I heard that right? 9 time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. What's next for the division? Tune in on Thursday. All right. We get a 1 minute video. We get a 1 minute video package. I like how I just read it. Jesus, what's wrong with me? We get a video package here, highlighting.
That's what TEW YouTubing used to be.
It did. Before we came in, we're the first ones ever.
Yeah, ever to do anything.
We invented the concept.
We invented women's wrestling.
Yep. I like it. I approve of that.
It was us.
Speaking of women's wrestling, we have a Divas search going on. Whoa.
Yep.
Put your ballots in, ladies.
Trish Stratus is the new general manager of Thursday Night SmackDown, and she's been doing a lot of things differently. One of which is changing the women's division on SmackDown to give more opportunities for women with less experience, and part of that is this year's Diva Search for the first time in a long time.
We've already kind of seen that bearing some fruit already on SmackDown with Kelly becoming a hotly discussed name lately.
She seems to be really connecting with the young girls in the WWE universe.
Indeed. But as Trish had said, those opportunities were coming not only for the young blood of the division, but for Nat Hart's also young, but for the vets as well. For Nat Hart, really the only vet on SmackDown. And she's going to get her opportunity up next. And she's going to fight Melina Perez, non-title, women's title, not on the line. More of an exhibition, more of an inter-brand affair here. But a big match regardless.
Now, before we move on to this match, I think you should take the opportunity to just update people on 2 other big names in the women's division who are not on this show. And that is former women's champion Beth Phoenix and the woman who cost her that title, Mickie James. What have they been up to lately, Tucker?
Beth Phoenix is winning matches.
Yep.
Mickie James is currently involved in possibly is finished, but we'll have to see on that. A situation with Candice Michelle. Candice Michelle had called her trash. They had just wrestled actually on this past Monday Night Raw. Candice Michelle picking up the win, affirming her beliefs, really, that Mickie James is trash. And
you have to tune in tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow. See how that's fantastic.
But what you don't have to tune in tomorrow to see is our big match between Nat Hart and Melina Perez.
Very nice.
Hell yeah.
Very, very nice.
Bass note. Well, actually, this is a different note, but it's still kind of based.
It is kind of based. This is the Will Ospreay bass note. The other one's the Young Bucks bass note. They'll sell, but not really in a way that makes any sense.
Nat Hart tries to work over Melina's legs and back. Melina tries to use strikes and some acrobatics to try and get some distance from Nat Hart, but in the end she gets caught, locked in the sharpshooter, nowhere to go, screams shrilly, then taps.
I don't want to say it again. But with this victory,
What's next?
What's next for Nat Hart?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like she can have a women's title match. She's on SmackDown. Or can she? I mean, let's not forget, Nat Hart created the undisputed women's championship when she defended it on SmackDown a few years ago.
I feel like
so
I feel like in regards to this now, the ball is really in Trish Stratus's court. I think there's some pressure here to do something.
I think the ball's actually in Teddy Long's court, but I think Trish Stratus might want that ball.
She's gonna take his.
You know what I'm saying? She might not take his ball, but she might trade for the ball. There's a lot of. I mean, if you think SmackDown's the A show, Trish has a lot of leverage, but what Teddy Long has that Trish doesn't is a women's championship.
What does Trish have that Teddy Long doesn't? Aside from
DX.
Good looks and hair.
There's DX.
No, that's true.
There's a bunch of cruiserweights. Then again, Teddy Long has the best cruiserweights, so.
Himself.
True. Halala.
Hello. Coming for your belt. Yeah. All right.
Oh.
We're moving into the dream match. I feel like dream match is overselling the gimmick here. We're moving.
Yeah, it's not quite a dream match, but yeah, go on.
We're moving into the future as we're going to see the two new faces really of the Cruiserweight division. The two guys who their offense is unlike anything we've ever seen before. We kind of had this realization when Millennium came in that wrestling could be so much more, and we've hit that peak yet again. Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne, two guys who ridiculously athletic, like through the fucking roof athletic. Evan's stuff a little more catered to the top rope. Kofi's is a little more, stationary, bouncy. I don't even know what the hell I just said there, but I think it gets it across regardless. Who will win?
Yeah, we got Kofi Kingston. We got Evan Bourne, of course, the breakout star of 2007. Let's not forget, former Cruiserweight champion. Evan Bourne last year at SummerSlam at Wembley Stadium beat Chavo Guerrero to become the Cruiserweight champion. He really was the breakout star of 2007. In 2008, we thought that breakout star might be Kofi Kingston, and it was looking to be the case as he took the Cruiserweight division by storm. Let's not forget, there's a massive difference in physicality between these two. I agree with you. They're athletic, but more importantly, they're creative. Their mental attributes are through the roof. The ability to kind of take a situation and use their athleticism to solve those problems is unmatched. Kofi Kingston, though, is a little bit bigger than Evan Bourne. He's a little bit heavier than Evan Bourne. And he's got that ability to really kind of lay in some of those strikes. And when he does take people from out of nowhere, he does it with a force that can really surprise people. And we thought Kofi Kingston might be the breakout star of 2008. It didn't really work out like that. Kofi Kingston spent a lot of time on the shelf with an injury this year, and he's only just come back to action. Evan Bourne said he made the mistake of waiting too long last time to ask for a match, so he immediately did it this time. Tonight, it's Kofi Kingston, it's Evan Bourne. Like you said, Tucker, which one of these two men is the future?
Let's do it.
So this match kicks off with a grappling sequence. We get a series of arm drags, kind of headlocks running into the ropes. They leapfrog each other. We get some big leg drops, big drop kicks. That's the word I'm looking for. Big drop kicks showing the athleticism of these two men, the height they can get on those drop kicks that brings the Philadelphia crowd into a flurry. We get some shoulder blocks from these two men. They go back and forth until Evan Bourne offers a handshake to Kofi Kingston. He's impressed by how even they are in the opening stages of this match. Kofi accepts the handshake, but Evan Bourne rolls Kofi up into a cradle instead of going through with the handshake. Kofi kicks out at 2, and Evan kind of smiles and motions like, I was this close. I almost got you, Kofi. But Kofi, he doesn't return the smile. He looks locked in and focused. Kofi taking the action to Evan Bourne, a mixture of his unique offense that we've seen. Some of it we've seen since his debut. Some of it he's added recently. The double stomp to the chest of Evan Bourne. He leaps to the top rope and hits Bourne with a twisting cross body. He misses the Trouble in Paradise. And finally, Kofi cracks a smile and he motions to Bourne. I was this close to getting you with the Trouble in Paradise. Evan returns the smile. The action spills to the outside, and Evan starts using the environment, starts using the barricade, the steps, the announce table, just to cut off Kofi's momentum. You know, there's only a year's difference between these two, but let's not forget that in that year, Evan Bourne was the Cruiserweight champion. He went toe-to-toe with the likes of Chavo Guerrero and Roderick Strong, and even though there is only a year's difference in experience, Evan Bourne is certainly the veteran between the two of them, and we see that as he manages to break up Kofi's momentum. Still, though, Kofi's action, his athleticism, his creativity is unmatched, and Kofi runs across the barricade, leaping off of it onto Bourne with a somersault senton, re-establishing a little bit of control, or at least a little bit of ascendancy. He gets up onto the apron, emotions to he's going to go for a moonsault off the apron to Evan, but Evan catches him and then drives him sickeningly into the post, throws Kofi back into the ring, and then a big leapfrog springboard clothesline from Evan Bourne as he gets things back in the ring and back on his playing field. We get to the end of the match, the finishing stretch. Evan Bourne is at this point switching to a series of kicks and knees to try and knock Kofi out, it seems like, with his excellent and well kind of practiced kicking offense. Kofi, though, manages to break it up with a springboard spinning DDT from the second rope, which manages to switch the momentum yet again. And then he climbs to the top rope and does his leaping sort of frog splash crossbody for a 2 count. Evan Bourne manages to stay in the match. These two go back and forth, trading bombs, series of moves and strikes, before finally Evan Bourne catches Kofi with a shotgun drop kick to the knee, meaning Kofi drops to his knees, and then Evan cracks him right in the mouth with a big running knee, right into his jaw. Is that what that's called?
It's Shining Wizard, but yeah.
Glitter. Oh, I see. And then Evan climbing to the top rope, but Evan tries to capitalize on his glittering magician by climbing to the top rope, but he's clearly exhausted. He finally kind of drags himself to the top rope, but he's taken too long. He's taken too long, and Kofi Kingston manages to leap to the top rope and then hit Evan Bourne with a Spanish fly from the top rope. The crowd goes absolutely crazy. Kofi slowly gets back up to his feet. He's hurting. Evan's hurting. These two men have taken each other to the limit. Kofi hits the boom drop and he signals for the Trouble in Paradise. He hits the boom drop and he does. He signals for the Trouble in Paradise. Bourne stands up and Kofi hits the Trouble in Paradise square and clean. An absolutely beautiful hit with the kick. 1, 2, but Evan kicks out. Kofi, still desperate. He climbs to the top rope. He goes for another crossbody, but Bourne mid-air hits a drop kick right to Kofi's ribs. Kofi collapses, winded. Bourne, this time with the adrenaline flowing, isn't going to waste any time. Scrambles to the top rope. Airborne, the shooting star press. 1, 2, 3. What a contest between these two. And it's Evan Bourne that comes out on top.
Fan-fucking-tastic. All right, we're moving into a heated issue. It is, it's going to be a big triple threat coming up. Edge has been doing everything in his power to try to drive a wedge between Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, and so far it has not worked. There's certainly friction there. They're certainly not seeing totally eye to eye or Shelton and Charlie anymore, but they're still on the same page, and that was proved on Monday there as Edge hosted a second Cutting Edge. He had done one earlier on in the month with Charlie Haas, which really started this whole thing. When that didn't seem to get the results that he wanted, Edge had brought Shelton Benjamin out and essentially was just going to try to continue his work, if you will. Shelton, having none of that, said he wanted to fight Edge. Charlie came out and said that he wanted to fight Edge. Both Haas and Benjamin kind of got up in each other's faces, and we thought for a moment it might happen. But they are still very good friends, and they turned their attention to the asshole sitting in the corner, and they both beat the hell out of Edge, hit him with a leapfrog stun gun. And it was announced later on by Teddy Long that he would be giving both of these men an opportunity to get their hands on Edge. And obviously, Edge could win this match too. Edge could also win.
I mean, yeah, this could be a huge opportunity for any of these guys to get ahead.
Yeah, you got to think this is probably some kind of definitely in the minds of the matchmakers for contendership and whoever comes out of the main event with the WWE Championship.
Well, we're going to talk about this later, but I'm not necessarily sure the matchmakers are in control of this show anymore.
Oh no!
Do you want me to go through this one before we progress and see who wins?
Yeah, you go right ahead. Yeah, I think I have your notes somewhere there for that, right? Yeah.
I don't know if I sent you notes for this one. Did I?
That's okay. No. I just seen I'd seen the big list that was the chamber thing, and I thought
yes,
multiple matches for a moment.
You good for me to just go through this and no, so we can do the chamber together? Cool. All right, so this match is going to start with, as Tucker mentioned, Charlie and Haas. Yes, we've done it again.
The man.
Shelton and Haas on the same team. They are going to neutralize Edge with a series of tag team maneuvers, and then eventually they're going to drop kick him, double drop kick to the outside, and then turn on each other. They've still got business to settle. Of course, these two have been trying. The whole reason why this match even came about is because Edge recently prevented them from finding a winner in the matches that they've been trying to have.
Yeah, they want to find
out
which one of them is better, really. They need
Absolutely.
that answer.
And maybe they're going to get it right here as they exchange rapid counters, Shelton showcasing his athleticism, drop kicks and leapfrogs, Haas showing his technical prowess with a big snug German suplex. But Edge, like he did all those weeks ago, is going to sneak into the ring with a steel chair and break up the match we really want to see, targeting Shelton's ribs with the steel chair and slamming Charlie in the back, breaking up the flow of this match. Edge sets up a table in the corner, starts to use the chairs, gets a kendo stick as well, starts to keep Shelton and Charlie at bay with this weaponry. Remember, there's no disqualification in a triple threat match. Haas, though, he recovers and tackles Edge, sending both of them tumbling to the outside, brawling, these clubbed fists from Charlie Haas, usually a very kind of strong grappler. We saw it earlier with Ted DiBiase Jr. in that sort of grappling designed to cause pain. That's usually what we see from Charlie Haas, but there's a level of frustration with Haas with Edge, and he's resorting to this brawling and this sort of almost hardcore elements as he whips Edge into the barricade and then kicks him really hard in the chest. Shelton dives from the apron with a flying clothesline on Edge and Charlie Haas. Chaos beginning to ensue in this triple threat. They get back into the ring. Haas catches Shelton. Shelton goes for a springboard kind of body, crossbody, and Haas manages to transition it into the Haas of Pain. But Edge gets back into the ring and slams Haas with a steel chair. Edge goes for a spear on Haas, but Haas sidesteps, and Edge goes shoulder first into that table that Edge set up in the corner at the start of the match. Then Haas grabs the kendo stick lying in the middle of the ring that Edge again brought into this match and just starts unloading on Edge. Shot after shot, absolutely blasting Edge with the kendo stick. Shelton rallies, hits a series of suplexes, a released German on Haas, which sends him spiraling to the outside, and then a T-bone on Edge, middle of the ring for a near fall. Edge just kicks out and then rolls out of the ring to recover right next to where Charlie got out of the ring. But Shelton absolutely not letting up. He goes for a dive through the middle ropes, landing on both Charlie and Edge. They get back in the ring. Shelton goes for a big stinger splash on Haas in the corner, just like he did in their singles match, but Haas catches him and goes for a belly-to-belly suplex into the turnbuckle. At this point, Edge has dragged a ladder into the ring, and he uses it to batter Shelton and Charlie, just slamming them with the steel of the ladder. He sets it up and starts climbing it, indicating he's going to go for some sort of kind of high-flying move on somebody, but Shelton leaps from the middle rope to the top of the ladder and then hits a superplex. Edge and Shelton both down. Haas capitalizes. He locks Edge in a crossface while Shelton is still recovering. Edge manages to escape. He gets to the bottom rope. Referee tells him there's no disqualifications that I can do, but Edge uses then that bottom rope to drag himself to it and kind of makes it awkward for Charlie, and he manages to get out of it. Charlie tries to get at Edge through the ropes, but it's really, really awkward. Edge kicks him away. Eventually, Edge manages to land a nasty shot to Charlie's face, face. And as Charlie is kind of recovering, Edge gets up and hits a big execution DDT to on top of a steel chair. Gets Charlie for 1, 2, but Charlie kicks out. Go a little bit later in the match. And Edge has managed to reattain control, but this time over Shelton. He sets Shelton up for that concerto, that vicious move that he's been using in his feud with Randy Orton this year. But before he can land it, it's Charlie Haas back with that kendo stick, who manages to hit Edge out of the way and manages to prevent him from hitting Shelton with that concerto. A little later on the match again, as all three men are sort of trading control, it's Shelton who looks like he's in the ascendancy. He kind of throws Edge into the corner, kind of dispatches of him. He hits Charlie with a takedown, a ground and pound. Charlie manages to escape, but then Shelton catches Charlie in a T-bone position, and he looks behind him, and he's about to T-bone Charlie onto a ladder. But he hesitates. He's not necessarily sure. I mean, he's not being too comfortable with all of the weaponry in this match, Shelton. He struggled with the chairs and the kendo sticks and the tables and the ladders. It's not really his game, Shelton Benjamin. He's never really engaged with it in this match. And now he knows he's got this opportunity. If he T-bones Charlie into the ladder, it could be the end of the match. But his hesitation, and it's too much hesitation, as Edge comes charging from the other side of the ring. Shelton drops Charlie just in time for Edge to hit Shelton with a spear through the ladder that was set up behind Shelton. And in the chaos, Charlie Haas recovers, catches Edge, bridging German suplex. 1, 2, 3, and Charlie Haas picks up the win.
Bang.
What a match.
Fucking, yeah, fantastic.
Ignore the game. It's a bridging German. Fuck you, game.
yeah, real. So, Charlie Haas didn't beat Shelton Benjamin.
That's true. And...
oh, no.
What's wrong, Tucker?
These guys didn't get their answer, did they?
They didn't, but they got that asshole Edge hopefully out of the way.
Yeah, hopefully we can go back to these two wrestling and we can figure this out and
tomorrow night.
Put an end to this. I don't like.
I guess we're gonna have to find out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fucking fantastic. That's awesome.
Yep.
All right, it's the WWE Championship match. The man who did not want this opportunity, did not want to be here, did not think he was ready. John Cena taking on the champion Batista. Batista beat Jeff Hardy for that title. You guys saw that. And since then, Batista, as had been put into the contract by Batista himself before their match, Jeff Hardy had no clause for a rematch. And Batista put it pretty simply to Jeff Hardy, but he just told him he wasn't a big enough star. Just wasn't going to move the numbers. There was one guy, of course, who Batista knew would. That would be John Cena. John Cena, who's had a bad year, really ever since WrestleMania. He hasn't been fully right. He's been winning, but he's not.
He'd even be WWE champion.
He has been, but I don't think he's been all there.
No.
He denied this match initially. John didn't.
Yeah, which is crazy.
He didn't think he was right for the role. He didn't think this was how it should be. There are plenty of other guys on Raw who are killing it right now, doing some of their best stuff. We just saw 3 of them.
True.
And John didn't think the spot was deserved.
He wanted to have the match at WrestleMania next year.
The only thing that changed his tune was The Rock.
What?
The Rock came out here on this last Monday Night Raw, before this show, basically asked John Cena if he was a pussy. John Cena had to answer no. And by answering no, he knew what he must do. Later on in that night, for the contract signing, John Cena came down and put his name on the dotted line. So here we are. It is, at one point, I would have said our heroes, but I don't think I recognize Batista anymore.
I don't know if I recognize John Cena anymore.
I don't think I recognize Lillian Garcia either. Who's she again?
She's the ring announcer on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, okay.
Although with
That's good.
the Mr. Kennedy administration about to begin tomorrow, that might not be. She might not be anymore.
We need no ring announcers. Cut the funding for ring announcers. Get that shit out of here.
They're just gonna freeze the ring announcer funding until they figure out what's going on.
The Department of Television Efficiency is coming in, doting on everybody. Let's do it. Do you have things for this, or?
I have vagaries, but not spot by spot.
Okay, let's just jump over the match.
Let's just jump into it. Yeah.
Very well done,
the way
everybody.
I see this going is kind of Batista, overconfident, cocky, smiling, just trying to brutalize John Cena. And in the early going, that's kind of how it goes. He kind of like works over Cena, and he's really, really smug, and he's just completely dismissive of Cena. And then Cena gets a big spot. Cena gets right back into the match. And I think in those early stages, the reason why Batista's able to overbear Cena is because Cena's unconfident. Cena's sort of unsure. And this is a rare thing for John, because usually he steps up on those big occasions, on those big nights, and he really takes it. But there's just something off about John right now. And he's not all there in the early stages of the match. But eventually he sees an opening. It's not even like Batista makes a mistake, even though he's being overconfident. But Cena just sees an opening and he rams through it with a shoulder block, a leaping shoulder block, shoulder tackle. And then suddenly a light switch goes. And we see for a brief moment the John Cena of the last few years. Big match John, as the crowd begins to rise here in Philadelphia. These two men go at it. John Cena perhaps looking back to his best, and he finally starts to get a few of his moves in. The 5-knuckle shuffle maybe goes for the attitude adjustment. Batista slips behind, hits the ropes, and tackles Cena with a big spear. And you see there's an expression on Batista's face. Like, okay, hold on. I'm in a match here. And for the next 4 minutes, they go back and forth. Batista trying to use his power spots, but Cena occasionally getting those glimpses of hope. Cena really taking it to Batista before he finally locks in the STF, and Batista has to claw and reach his way for the ropes until eventually he gets there and the referee forces a break. These two men have been quite close tonight, but Batista, you can kind of tell as the match is going on, Cena's thrown everything at Dave. Sorry, I shouldn't call him
what
Dave.
The hell?
He's throwing everything at Batista, and Batista survived. But Batista clearly underestimated Cena a little bit in the start of this match, but now he knows he's in a fight. And every time Cena gets that sort of comeback fire going, Batista cuts him off with a power move, a shoulder block, a spear, a military press. Both these men, Batista really showing his power and able to cut Cena off. And then eventually he just catches Cena, big spine buster, shakes the ropes, big thumbs up, big thumbs down. One thing to mention is the crowd reaction tonight. Tucker, I think, excellently summarized. I'm not necessarily sure if Batista's a great guy anymore, but the crowd have been very mixed on John Cena for years, and tonight is absolutely no different. Some of the fans supporting Cena, but you have a loud Batista Bomaye chant, of course, the rallying cry Batista's had since WrestleMania. And the crowd are quite excited to see when Batista signals for the end. And despite all of the negatives Tucker has mentioned, I think there's a big pop when Batista hits that Batista bomb and gets the 1, 2, 3 and retains the WWE Championship.
Deuce and Domino run down the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Is a big
They talk about
structure.
the specs of the Elimination Chamber.
It's very tall,
Yeah.
very wide, and it hurts. All right, let's get into it. Here we go. It is the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber coming up. You can see all of our participants there. Every single man here won a qualifying match. That's the word I'm looking for. In order to be in this match, except for Shawn Michaels, who continues to lose upwards, if you will. He lost his initial qualifying match against Chavo Guerrero, only to be afforded, well, not even actually, There was a last chance battle royal on this last Thursday edition of SmackDown, and Shawn Michaels was not set to be in it, but he kicked the Idol Stevens in the face, went into the ring. Our referees did their best to try to tell him, no, Shawn, you're not in the match. I don't know what you're trying to do here. But he won the battle royal, and we rang the bell. So, you know what?
Here he is.
Here he is. He did it, I guess. That worked for me. Yeah, every single other man here straight up won their qualifying match. Chavo beat Shawn, obviously. Bobby Lashley doesn't need to qualify. The Undertaker beat Roderick Strong. Triple H beat Gregory Helms, and Vladimir Kozlov beat Rey Mysterio.
Well remembered.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't remember fucking what we did yesterday, but I can remember all these guys and who they beat. You know, that's how it works.
It just shows how strong, how strong SmackDown is. You know how
sticking in my brain. You know,
yeah.
It's great. Yeah, are we about ready to get into this here?
Yeah, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, let me open this image so I can see it like bigger. It might flash up on the screen for a second. I apologize if it does. It didn't.
It's fine.
On the other monitor. Perfect. So everybody comes down, and then the men who are not starting get in their pods, which leaves us with the starting pair of the men who fought in their own qualifying match. It's Chavo Guerrero and Shawn Michaels. And to start off, Chavo Guerrero is feeling himself. Every single thing that Shawn tries to do, Shawn's trying to run with Chavo Guerrero in chain wrestling here, which is a real smart move by Shawn. Chavo properly outclasses this man. Everything that Shawn tries to do, Chavo's got a counter for it, and every time that Shawn tries to up the pace, Chavo can up it a little bit harder. That's the power of being the best in the world.
That's it. And I like to think that Chavo, like you said, these two fought in their qualifier. I like to think we get a few callbacks to that match. And I also like to think Chavo is doing a bit of talking, not necessarily in like a hostile way, but he's saying like, Shawn, I told you last time, nothing's going to get in my way. I don't wait for destiny. I make my own destiny. And he's right. We're talking about the guy who came out of the Undertaker versus Batista feud as the World Heavyweight Champion. We're talking about the guy who main evented WrestleMania this year. We're talking about the guy who came back from one of the worst defeats you could have, losing to Randy Orton at WrestleMania 22. And did he pack it up? No. Chavo Guerrero is a survivor. He is a warrior. And he has been World Heavyweight Champion on a number of occasions. He wants to be World Heavyweight Champion again tonight. And he's feeling it. But that there's a little bit of overconfidence. You said he's the best in the world. He is, but he also knows he's the best in the world. And there's a little bit of arrogance that creeps into that, which lets Shawn Michaels fire back with a big flying forearm. But Chavo, as good as he is, manages to stop Shawn's momentum in his tracks. When Shawn goes up to the top rope, tries to hit that flying elbow, Chavo hits a big drop kick, getting Shawn right out of midair.
Chavo gets Shawn up afterwards, and he goes for the three amigos. He's taking his time on it. He hits the first one. He rolls him over. He hits the second, and he rolls him over for a third time. Shawn Michaels hooks his leg around the inside of Chavo's leg, drops back, and rolls him into a cradle just as the time's coming down. 4, 1, 2, 3, kick out, 2, 1. Kozlov is here. Oh, fuck.
Here comes the Moscow Mauler. Immediately drops Chavo and HBK with the midsection / chest headbutts as he just thunders his head into their body wherever he takes it. He ragdolls Chavo around with his sambo takedowns, the judo throws, and the suplex variations. Shawn tries to muster a comeback, but Kozlov cuts him off with a vicious spinning heel kick. Vladimir Kozlov roars. The Moscow Mauler, who has been on a war path this year, is looking for his first ever world championship. The only man in this match without a world championship. He charges, throwing Chavo into that sort of steel grate on the outside, the steel wall of the Elimination Chamber. as Deuce and Domino explained, that shit hurts. And indeed, Chavo Guerrero like cries in pain as Kozlov just throws him around outside in the metal. He throws Chavo face first, boom, into the pod that he just came out of. And then he charges after him, but Chavo manages to get out of the way and smash Kozlov right into that plexiglass, smashes through the pod that he came out of. Chavo Guerrero kind of recovers, gets back in the ring. He and Sean like look at Kozlov like, okay, is he done? And then Kozlov slowly gets out of the fucking pile of plexiglass, picks bits out of him. The Moscow Mauler, undeterred, is still standing as the next man is about to enter.
It's the champion. Bobby Lashley comes in, hits a big takedown on Chavo Guerrero, hits off the ropes, and hits a massive spear on Kozlov, who's just trying to get himself back into the match himself.
Yep.
HBK sees this, and he's like, oh, fuck, gotta do something about it. Throws a super kick out at Lashley. Lashley ducks it, puts his arm between Sean's legs, one arm, picks him up, spine busters the fuck out of this man.
Wait, Chavo Guerrero, through all of that, has climbed to the top of Vladimir Kozlov's pod and is standing on top of it. Lashley looks up confused as Chavo dives from the top of the pod, catches Lashley, and hits a massive tornado DDT. He pins Lashley, but he only gets 2.
As Kozlov kind of gets himself going again, he knows the man who just took him out, so he lifts up Bobby Lashley, who's absolutely fucking laid out from that DDT, and just starts fucking hammering in on him. Kozlov with these stiff fucking strikes, and Lashley, it might once in a while get one in, but Kozlov's fucking him up at this point.
We see the kickboxing, the big thing between Lashley and Kozlov these last few months, because we've seen these guys go at it a few times, only once one-on-one, but they've come to blows in multi-man matches a lot. And what Kozlov has, his secret weapon, is that he has an excellent kickboxing game, but he has legs longer than you wouldn't believe. He's the tallest man in the ring right now, and he is able to keep Lashley at bay with those kicks. However...
with those long-ass legs, Bobby Lashley catches one of them, picks Kozlov up, spins him around up to onto his shoulder, hits the biggest power slam you've ever seen in your goddamn life, basically lays out both men. They both kind of roll... Oh, that won't work.
He gets a 2 count, and then as they get back up and start brawling again, they spill to the outside and start slamming each other into pods, into the chamber walls.
Yep, that works perfect. It's Triple H. The timer has hit 0. Triple H is in here, and they're right outside his pod, so Triple H is going to go right for Vladimir Kozlov anyways. They start throwing hands at each other. Kozlov actually drops the kickboxing stuff. Triple H just rushes over, and Kozlov's like, oh god, it's a fight. So they're just throwing punches at each other.
Yeah, we've seen this between these two before as well in the multi-mans of recent months. Triple H is one of the only men who's consistently able to counter that kickboxing from Kozlov. There's just something about the way Triple H moves, the way he's able to generate speed over short distances. He closes with Kozlov into the clinch, and like you say, it forces Kozlov to go for those elbows, which those elbows are devastating, but at least you can actually get some counter shots off, whereas with the kicks, you really can't do anything.
Meanwhile, during this whole thing, Chavo is kind of bouncing between the two other participants of the match, Lashley and Shawn Michaels. Lashley fires Chavo off the ropes into Lashley. Lashley would go for a spear, but Chavo kind of rolls out of the way very quickly. He then charges at Shawn, who kind of rebuffs a Hurricane Rana attempt. Chavo lands on his feet, hits the ropes himself, tries to go at Shawn once again. Lashley gets in there. We'll do like a crisscross for a second. It looks like they're going to collide. They don't, as Triple H comes in and squares up with Bobby Lashley. Basically just cuts Lashley off doing the crisscross spot, just stares into the ring, and Chavo, obviously running the other way, just kind of stops and is like, oh, I'm going to let that unfold as it is. Lashley and Triple H get in each other's face. Before Triple H can even really react, Bobby Lashley has him up over his shoulder for the Dominator. Like, they're squared up 1 second, and then boom, he's up on the shoulder. Lashley,
explosive pace of the champ.
Lashley turns around to let the crowd fucking soak it in for a goddamn second. And then from off the side of the screen, a foot comes in, hits Lashley on the chin, and drops him. Shawn Michaels super kicks Bobby Lashley in the goddamn face.
And then from out of nowhere, Chavo does his new springboard rolling kick to Shawn. So Lashley's down from the super kick. Shawn's down from the kick. Chavo's down from pure exhaustion. Triple H, who was just about to get dominated, is on his feet. And the only other man on his feet is the Moscow Mauler, Vladimir Kozlov, who closes the distance with Triple H and kind of breaks Triple H's kind of contact with his feet in the ground in going for a judo throw. Manages to kind of get Triple H off his balance, but Triple H recovers as he is almost halfway over Kozlov's shoulder and just swings his leg underneath Kozlov's into an absolutely unrepentant, blatant low blow. He just kicks Vladimir Kozlov in the dick. He just absolutely low blows the shit out of this man. And Kozlov, he might be a tough son of a bitch, but everybody hurts down there, and he just recoils in pain. Triple H kicks him in the abdomen. Pedigree. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, our first elimination, Vladimir Kozlov, but he kicked him in the dick.
The Undertaker looks on, absolutely terrified. He's like, that's my one weakness. I hope they don't figure that out.
Kozlov's furious. Yeah. He refuses to allow this to stand, and he just completely headbutts the fucking shit out of Triple H, and then he hits him with a Uranagi onto the steel grating. Kozlov is wrestled out of the ring by a collection of referees and road agents, but understandably so. But it has to be said, anything goes inside the Elimination Chamber.
Okay, here we go. The Undertaker's in. Everybody's in the pool except for Kozlov, who's now been told to leave the pool. The Undertaker comes in, and he is on fire, as you might expect from the last man in this match. He comes in the ring. First move he's doing, he's grabbing Shawn by the goddamn throat, lifting him up sky high, plants him with that choke slam, snaps his head around, locks eyes with Bobby Lashley. Aw, shit. Here we go.
We saw these two fights at Madison Square Garden at Saturday Night's Main Event in September.
Undertaker approaches Bobby Lashley, goozles him as well. He's got him up for the choke slam. He's about to. He goes to lift him up. Bobby Lashley hits the arm of the Undertaker, breaking the grip, immediately bounces back off the ropes and hits a massive goddamn spear on the Undertaker. Lashley entirely spent. He's trying to push himself up so he can, stand up again. He's trying to stand up again. And he looks over.
Trying to take advantage.
As the Undertaker sits up. Son of a bitch.
But Lashley isn't the only one focused on the Undertaker right now.
Yep, Chavo Guerrero's in here. He is going to come out of nowhere. The Undertaker, who has sat up, he's going to hit him with a big springboard crossbody. He's going to attempt to, as the Undertaker. I think he could do this. I believe he could. When I say this. From sitting, he's going to catch Chavo as best he can, stand up with him, adjust the position. It's a tombstone pile driver. Gong right on your head. 1, 2, 3, and Chavo is gone. Ridiculous fucking
power. We
are
down
from the Undertaker.
2-4. The Undertaker, Bobby Lashley, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels.
Lashley, HBK, and Taker kind of all go at each other. They're trading blows.
Reason why it's those three, by the way, just to mention, is that Triple H is still recovering from getting slammed onto the steel grate by Kozlov earlier. In fact, he might be being tended to. The medics might have the door slightly open while he gets treated.
Perfect. Lashley battles off Shawn. The two big heavy hitters kind of tee off on him for a minute and kind of incapacitate him for a moment. Taker ends up catching one of Lashley's punches, twists the wrist, starts climbing the turnbuckle, goes out across the ropes, and he's about to hit an old school. As he comes off, Lashley pulls him into him. Hopefully Taker can kind of turn as much as I goddamn hope he can, because he's going to pull him right off that top rope, essentially, spin him around. He's got him in that massive power slam, and he hits another one. That power slam doing real well for Bobby Lashley in this match.
But he isn't able to capitalize because Shawn Michaels is back.
Yep. As he gets up, Shawn Michaels tries to hit him with a super kick, but Lashley ducks that, and as Shawn turns around trying to recover, he gets hit with a big spear himself. In that meantime, Taker's back up, who charges at Lashley again, and he will take down Bobby Lashley. He just shoots a half on him, basically. Fires a couple.
It's just a huge kind of rumble as Taker hits the mat. Bobby Lashley, like, there's an angle to that takedown. Like, Taker feels it as Lashley almost like puts his shoulder right into him as he hits the mat. And as I think you were about to say, lands a few shots from the prone opponent as Taker tries to defend himself.
Yeah. Oh, I see what we have. Okay. Perfect. Taker. So Lashley takes down Taker then?
Yeah, Lashley's taking down Taker. He's raining shots from above, but Taker, as we've seen before, you're not somebody you really want to be in the guard of, as his legs, big and strong, wrap around Lashley's neck, and he snaps very quickly into a triangle choke and almost immediately transitions it into that previously banned submission hold, the Hell's Gate.
Bobby Lashley fights like hell. He powers the Undertaker up and kind of loses his footing and collapses. Then he powers the Undertaker up again, loses that footing again and collapses. And we see him strain. He's going for the third one. He puts all of his muscle into it, but it's just not moving. And then suddenly the Undertaker breaks the hold, and we realize Bobby Lashley is out cold, and his title reign is done.
What a title reign it was. But very few have managed to escape the gates of hell.
The refs come in to take Bobby Lashley out, and as they do so, Triple H is alive. Oh my god! He goes
live and fighting.
He goes right at the Undertaker. The Undertaker goozles Triple H to try to hit another chokeslam, but Triple H kicks him in the gut there, hooks both the arms, hits a pedigree. Obviously, Triple H probably trying to get this done as quick as possible. I imagine there's some bad internal injuries there. He gets the cover on the Undertaker. 1, 2, and Taker kicks out. Of fucking course. That will take Taker out, though, for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and Triple H realizes Shawn Michaels is up, and he's looking at him directly in the eye, and there's conflict on Shawn Michaels' face, because now he knows with only 3 men remaining that sooner or later it's going to come down to brother versus brother, degenerate versus degenerate, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels, and there's a hesitation between both men before finally they realize what has to be done, and they start throwing fists, throwing punches, slugging it out. These 2 men, they might be friends, they might be brothers, but only one of them can walk out as the World Heavyweight Champion.
As they're brawling, Shawn probably takes the worst of it. Triple H a little bit of a better punch thrower than Shawn Michaels is in a straight up fight. So Shawn's kind of on his feet, and Taker comes in and just kind of shoves Shawn Michaels over. The kind of out on his feet shot. He just pushes him over, goes right at Triple H, picks him up on his shoulder, hits the massive snake eyes onto the on the turnbuckle there. Taker with his insane speed hits the goddamn ropes, takes Triple H's head straight off with a big boot.
Shawn Michaels tries to come back into the ring, landing some elbows and punches on the Undertaker, but the Undertaker is too strong. He picks Shawn up, going for that last ride, but Shawn slips behind and hits a big super kick.
And the Undertaker is not down. He kind of nods his head a bit like, oh, fuck, am I still here? I'm still here. And he turns around trying to get his feet on him, and he turns right into a kick to the gut. Triple H hooks the arms, pulls his head down, pedigree, cover. 1, 2, 3. The Undertaker is gone. Okay.
We are down.
Who's left?
To 2.
And Triple H has that moment where he says, okay, who's left? And he looks over, and he's like, oh, fuck. All right. Let's do this then. The crowd has the opposite reaction, though. They're like, all right, it's these 2. Let's do this then. Hell yeah.
We've seen battles between these 2 men, epic contests, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. In fact, We've seen these two in this very position 6 years ago at Survivor Series. Two men fighting it out as the last men in the Elimination Chamber for the World Heavyweight Championship. Shawn Michaels won on that occasion, but since then, Triple H has been the victor in an Elimination Chamber of his own. This is it. Perhaps the last battle between these two men, and they are exhausted. Both men have gone through the wars. Triple H absolutely brutalized by Vladimir Kozlov. Shawn Michaels absolutely brutalized by pretty much everyone in this match. He was one of the first two entrants. He has gone through 30 plus minutes of wrestling the likes of Chavo Guerrero, The Undertaker, Vladimir Kozlov. I'm missing one person who's been eliminated. It's Bobby Lashley, I think I haven't mentioned. These guys absolutely. This has been, we've talked about SmackDown as the A show, right, in a meta sense this year. But make no mistake, these 6 men are top level elite wrestlers, former world champions to a man, aside from Vladimir Kozlov, who is no doubt a future world champion. And they have had a hellacious contest inside an elimination chamber, and it is down to these 2 men.
So these two slowly get to their feet, and they start trading punches. We're going to take the temperature of the crowd a little bit. Any boos, any yays, how we feel in here. Doesn't really matter how they feel, ultimately. They throw punches.
I think they're popping for everything at this point.
Probably. Triple H doing his best. He tries to lock a headlock on Shawn to try to catch his breath a little bit. Shawn pushes him off the ropes. Shawn pushes him off the ropes. Triple H comes back, hits a big running high knee on Shawn Michaels. He's feeling it now. He picks up HBK, kicks him in the gut, hooks the arms, but he just can't quite hit the pedigree, can't quite get him to come down, and Shawn wiggles his arms out, and he grabs Triple H by the waist, lifts him up, hits an inverted atomic drop on him, and Shawn crawls his way up to the top rope. He's barely fucking alive, really. And kind of just falls off, hits one of those big pumping elbow drops that he got right onto the goddamn sternum of Triple H, right where Vladimir Kozlov would have done all that damage with the Uranagi. That'll do it. Shawn just kind of drapes himself over Triple H. 1, 2, and Triple H fucking kicks out.
Oh my god.
And Shawn gets up, and he kind of collapses back into the corner, drags himself up to his feet, and he starts tuning up that goddamn band. This will be it. If Shawn can hit this, he will win this match. Shawn comes out of the corner, extends his leg. Triple H ducks down underneath that leg, picks up Shawn, kind of very similar to how Bobby Lashley did it earlier, honestly, and hits a big old spine buster on
there wasn't enough pace on Shawn Michaels there. He tuned up the band, but he just doesn't have the energy to hit that sweet chin music at the speed that he needed. He gave Triple H an opening.
Triple H gets Shawn Michaels up, kicks him in the gut, hooks the arms, and Shawn Michaels' knees just give out on him. And Triple H has to kind of pull him up by the arms, looks out at the crowd. This is it. Shawn manages to get his arms loose, and he backdrops Triple H. They both are just spent. Absolutely. Triple H is the first one to get to his feet, and he goes back to looking at the crowd. And he's trying to hype himself up. He's trying to find his second win, or third win, maybe fourth. Who knows? Triple H.
Don't forget, Triple H is a 5-time World Heavyweight Champion, joint record champion, 4-time World Heavyweight Champion, joint record with Batista. He could become the out-and-out most successful World Heavyweight Champion if he could just put his best friend away.
Triple H hits his thing. He rears up the arms. That's the best way I could put it. He rears them up, and the crowd starts to feel it. Triple H picks Shawn Michaels up, and Shawn's barely standing, and he takes the one arm, and Shawn breaks just enough space where he can throw that leg out just kind of errantly, and it hits Triple H in the chin. They're both down once again. It was a super kick. Jesus. These two guys. Shawn is the first one to kind of figure out where he is, and he once again pulls himself up in the corner. It's failed him just a couple of seconds ago, but he's going to go for it again. He tunes up the band, and he launches out of the corner, and he fucking hits it, knocks Triple H's jaw right off, It's a horrible scene. No, he hits Triple H right in the jaw. Triple H collapses. Shawn stands for a moment and then just kind of throws his body over top of Triple H. 1, 2. Oh my God, 3.
Jim Ross on commentary says Shawn Michaels has rolled back the years. He's turned back the clock. He's promised for years that he's got one more in him. And tonight, finally, the Heartbreak Kid, the showstopper, has proven it to the world. 6 years to the day from his first World Heavyweight Championship. Shawn Michaels is back. The Heartbreak Kid is the World Heavyweight Champion. He's beaten everybody. He wasn't even supposed to be in the match, and now he stands on top of the world as the heavyweight champion.
The door comes open, and the refs and staff come in immediately. We've got water and ice packs and all that shit here, because that's insane. Shawn doesn't even know where he is, really. He kind of just, like, gets in the corner and starts talking to the ref, like, okay, Shawn looks at the ref and he says, basically, yeah, like he's just like how do I beat him? And the ref's like, you did. Shawn's like, what? And they bring the belt over to him.
Wait, no, they don't. Triple H enters the ring with the World Heavyweight Championship in his hands, and there's a moment as they look at each other, Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and then the crowd kind of feels it. These two men, they're tag team right now. They fought over a belt at WrestleMania. They fought over championships for years. They fought over this championship for the last 6 years. They've been through wars. They've gone to hell. And Triple H is holding the World Heavyweight Championship. And has this finally been the moment where they've cracked, where Triple H has realized that he doesn't want to be Shawn Michaels' friend. He doesn't want to be Shawn Michaels' tag team partner. All that matters to these two men is this championship. And now Triple H sees Shawn Michaels has won it. Is that going to break him? Is that going to break this friendship? And Triple H hugs Shawn Michaels. He embraces him, and then he goes behind him. He puts the championship around Shawn's waist. He gives him another big hug, and he leaves Shawn to enjoy the moment. We might have seen the same result as 6 years ago, but the implications are drastically different.
Shawn, who basically immediately collapses in the corner, we'll give him a couple minutes here so he can get himself together, and then he can start celebrating. Fuck, man. I don't know if we should ever do an Elimination Chamber again. This is fucking. These guys are not right now. Jesus.
It took years off their career, but Shawn Michaels, I bet you, doesn't care. All that matters is that he finally did what he's been trying to do for years. He proved to the world that he did have one more left in him. He rolled back the years. He turned back time. The Heartbreak Kid is the World Heavyweight Champion.
And that'll do it for us.
Vladimir Kozlov was used too much.
I think that Kozlov guy should go away. I don't like him. He doesn't.
Really overrated.
They should have I don't even.
They should have put Rene Dupree in that match.
I like Rene Dupree. They should have Rey Mysterio beat him. Rey Mysterio is so much better than Vladimir Kozlov.
True.
Who the hell are we talking to?
Charlie.
Yep.
Charlie, Edge, Shelton, and John. Does that sound reasonable?
That works for me. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Bradshaw Layfield, you mean, right? Oh, sorry, Morris.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh.
Great performance. Great performance. Great performance. John, come here, big dog. We did it again.
Speaking of a great performance, should we show our patrons?
We should, but first, the money. Oh, that's a lot
Holy
of money.
Fuck.
Oh, we don't get any pop. That's fair. So yeah, we'll do. Oh man, we get to do this too.
We are allowed to. Are you still adamant that it's worth doing?
We'll do another one here. We'll see.
All right. Okay.
Because I've seen I've seen a couple before that are like, okay, this is interesting, this is cool, and they did make the changes, right? Hopefully, we're gonna get less
Yeah.
asks about people being off their game. Obviously, as you can see on the screen, thank you to our Patreons, to our patrons. That's how you'd say that. Yeah, if you subscribe to the, is it still the highest tier?
Yeah.
If you subscribe to the highest tier, you're gonna get your name on here. And even if you stop giving us money, that's cool. You're gonna be on there the whole time.
On there forever. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say literally forever because the series will go until one of us dies. So
I mean, we've been doing this for too long. And we have no intention of stopping.
So let's see.
Before we get into the media scrum, I just want to take a moment, a final moment, to appreciate Bobby Lashley's title reign, because he absolutely nailed it. He killed it. Yes, he was set up to succeed, but so have lots of other people, and he actually did. So good job, Bobo. Absolutely loved your reign. I really hope that he doesn't get lost in the SmackDown Sea afterwards.
All right, let's get me out there. I've brought together a bunch of quote unquote journalists here, and they're gonna ask me some quote unquote questions.
You get a work shoe where Amy Weber denounces the result of the Mr. Kennedy match.
This is literally a WWE like 2025 press conference question. You seem to have great success in the U.S. market. All your competitors are playing catch up. You must be delighted. Is this a question? I don't concern myself with other companies. I concentrate 100% on WWE.
That's just a lie, though.
It is.
We could tell the lie. What about it's no surprise that we dominate? We're just giving the fans great shows.
That's a good line. That's a good line.
Yeah.
So Survivor Series is being considered a success. How do you feel? Yeah, I'm delighted that it went so well, honestly.
Yeah.
I will be applying. No, I have no interest in that position at all.
I don't even know what that is.
What are you talking about? The Idol Stevens is coming to the end of his current deal. You see him signing an extension?
Why is there not a I don't talk about contract negotiations
literally, right?
option?
Yeah, like I don't do that. I imagine we're
he's a big part of the WWE family. We'll of course be offering him a new deal. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Joey Mercury. Oh man, will he still be in WWE 6 months from now? I doubt it.
It will depend on his. It will depend on his ways to demands.
I love it.
We'll do everything we can to keep him. It'd be an enormous blow to WWE to lose him.
Okay, that's it. That was worthwhile, I guess.
And that's Survivor Series.
That is Survivor Series. The next time we see you guys will very likely be 2009.
Holy fuck.
Does that mean you want to plug the thing that we're doing in December here? So
no,
people?
If it's all right with you and you agree with this, I think we should do a separate video for that.
Absolutely,
I think it
works for me.
Yeah, have better results.
Absolutely works for me. For Puddy, for myself, and for Shia Michaels. We'll see y'all in the... Oh, wait, who the hell is this guy? I don't like him. Anyways.